Okay, so once you download your jig, the first thing that you need to do is put your piece of wood into the Glowforge or your laser machine. I usually go for something really thin. It doesn't need to be thick at all, just so that it holds the watch bands in place. I then, this is different. When I first got my machine, I don't know what happened, but I lasered off the lip, as you can see there. So every time I go to place my wood in the corner, it would go over the lip. So I just put these little nails in to create a kind of wall. And they just slot in and out like so. So then when I pull my wood against into the right hand corner, they go against the nails, and I don't need to worry about my wood going over my my wall. So it's in the same place every single time in the corner. Open your jig file, upload into the Glowforge software, so app.glowforge.com. Okay, so now I want to position it somewhere in the middle, but as you can see, all the purple will cut and the grey is outside of the engrave / cut area. The cut space is a lot bigger than the actual engrave area, so first of all you need to go and change your settings over here to engrave, and my settings, I save it under perfect watchband settings, and they are speed 600, precision power 65, lines per inch 1355. So I do change between 675 and this last one here, depending on my design. If my design is really intricate, I will use 1355, but it does take longer to engrave your watches. And then focus height 0.108. Obviously, if you have your own settings, you can put your settings into your save the settings yourself. So now we've set the engrave up. If you click on draft, you'll see that some of the grey areas have greyed out, and then if you change your settings to HD, more of them have filled in. So it depends on your settings how the pink is shaded. So I'm going to go and change every single one of these down the left hand side to my perfect watch band settings. Every single one. Okay, so you can see that it's still not going to engrave everything. So I'm going to shift it to the left a little bit and see if, no, a bit more. Okay, it's too far to the left. Okay, so this is perfectly sitting where it can engrave, and so it will be able to cut this space and engrave this space at the same time. So before you go ahead and cut your jig, you need to make sure that your placement of the watch bands is perfect and it can cut and engrave as well. So you need to make sure this step is an important step before you actually cut your jig. So once all of the everything is pink or purple, then you need to go over to and then change it to your cut settings, whichever type of wood you're using. Make sure your cut settings are correct. And now this is your cut file, so it's perfect. We know that it can engrave and it can it can cut. If you didn't do that step, you might have the jig in the wrong place, and when you come to engrave it later on, your jig might not see it. So that's an important step, so don't miss that step out. But you will not be engraving anything, only engraving your watch bands if that's what you decide to do. Okay, so now then we can go ahead and cut our file. Make sure you highlight over your positioning of where your final piece is, and then capture these capture these coordinates, write them down, do what you need to do. Do not lose these coordinates because they are important. So every time you re-upload this file with your designs in, you need to highlight over the entire thing and put the exact same coordinates in. If they are off slightly, it will not work. Also, if you have the Pro Glowforge and you open the flap at the front, sometimes it can shift the honeycomb metal underneath slightly. So if you are opening and closing it on a regular basis, you need to be really careful and aware that this could shift your actual placement of your jig when you come to do your watch bands again. You can see my nails in there and it's perfectly resting against my wall. So yeah.